Rajaji on the 7th of December 1972, and I got the letter of permission from him on that day. But actually, the letter is dated 6th December 1972. So, previous day itself he had written the entire letter and he kept it ready, and that is how the moment I met him, he was immediately ready with the letter. I just did namaskar to him, and I gave the token of honorarium of 1116 to tick, which on that day itself he called the auditor and saw that it was into his account, because he was the ex-Governor General of India, the first Governor General of India. So, after getting the permission and after talking my producers about their investment, I had to do the script, as I told you. Mr. Ravi Verma, who was the cameraman and who had already checked up with Mr. Palagumi Padmarazu about my own credentials, he came and joined me. Mr. Karaikudi Nayaran, the writer. But first we prepared the screenplay and acted the dialogues later. That is how the entire script went off. So, we made the entire script and we wanted to submit that script to the Film Finance Corporation. Then it was FFC, now it is NFDC, National Film Development Corporation, and B.K. Karanjia was the chairman. That was instituted by the Government of India to promote good cinema. So, I think I was the first to apply for FFC, or first to get a loan from FFC. Mostly it was Northern Indian. There was a Hindi film, there was a Bengali film, there was a Gujarati film, I do not know, but not a single South Indian film. I was the first. And then after coming there, Mr. S.D. Lal, who was the secretary of the South Indian Film Directors Association, SIFTA, he suggested that it is better it is sponsored by the Directors Association. It will give a lot of prestige. I was very happy. People like Mr. Sethu Madhavan, Puttanna Kanagal, they all were a part of this, and they all appreciated this, and they put their support to me, and the entire application was sent to FFC. While that is going on, we were also meeting Mr. Karanjia now and then corresponding. It was almost necessary, and at last we have to do the casting also. So, basically the one person which I have already thought was Lakshmi. Actually, she was doing all glamorous roles in the commercial rental mainstream cinema, but this was a realistic film. But I thought she was the person, everybody was thinking, no, she is a glamorous artist. No, that is a different thing, because it is an acting. She is extremely wonderfully capable of carrying the role. So, I met her and I told her, this is absolutely without makers, realistic. You have to stay in a village, and it is a movement type of film, and very small payment. I remember it is about 6,000, 7,000 rupees at that time, and we will not pay you anything until my loan from FFC is confirmed. But once it is confirmed, I will tell you, and you can give the dates, whatever it is. Up to that you are free, but I want to put your name in the application, because only then the application will be complete. She said absolutely, she was very, very happy, because she was loving to do such a film, and nobody was coming forward with such a script and such a project. And Mr. Srikanth was the Karupan, he is the husband, and Mr. Y.G. Mahendra, it was his second film or third film. We booked him. He was Ismail, the moneylender's son, and Mr. Ismail was played by Mr. Purnam Viswanathan. Apart from that, lot of new actors from theatre groups and actually realistic actors and all that played in that, and taking the main casting, we sent it. And the music director, since we had Rajiv Taranath as music director in Samskara, and just like Ravi Shankar was the music director for Pachar Panchali Satyajit Ray. So, I thought of taking Mr. Veena Chittibabu as the music director. He immediately agreed. Already he was an internationally famous person. He had done a lot of world tours and all that by that time. He was a celebrated Veena player. So, he agreed, and for everybody it is the same thing. It is a very absolutely nil, very little, almost nil remuneration. But because even that I could pay only after the loan of the Film Finance Corporation has been approved. So at last, the Film Finance Corporation approved the loan. I went to Bombay, and it was a tripartite agreement between the chairman, that is FFC, and they were giving the loan through the Dina Bank, because the Dina Bank will give me the loan and FFC will be the guarantee. So if I don't pay the Dina Bank back, the FFC will pay them. That's the thing. It's a tripartite. So the chairman of Dina Bank, the chairman of FFC, huge hall, the hall, and I am the applicant. So we all signed. It's a 70-page agreement. I do not know what. I did not read it at all. Mr. Karanji asked me, Mr. Rao, did you read that agreement? And I told him, sir, if a man wants to cheat, even you put 700 pages of agreement, he can still cheat. But a man is honest, even with no agreement, he can be honest. I don't want to read that agreement at all. I trust you. I am taking that money. I am confident I am going to repay. They all appreciated. They smiled, and I signed them. And of course, the advance check, 50%, 75,000 rupees they gave. So it was a, though it's a cross check, first time I did not know how to carry. So there, the film company, they suggested you invest some money to go by flight from Mumbai to Madras, because that is safer. So that was the first time I got into a flight from Mumbai to, because of safety and all that. By 1 hour I came back. So after coming here, now the entire production will start. Everything was there. The Directors Association were very happy. There was a meeting and they all congratulated me. They clapped and all that, and they asked me, please tell them the method of applying for that. So many young directors, assistant directors, they were all there. They were all very anxious to know how exactly we have to apply the rules and regulations. I told them all my experiences, and whatever help I want to give, instructions. I mean, I cannot get you the loan, but the process of it, what all I went through, I will tell you all that. So they were happy. I do not know who applied. Nobody came to me later. Now, first thing is, we have to see the locations and we have to take the dates. So we have taken the dates from all the people. They are available. It's a continuous day. Actually, the film was shot in 22 days. We took 25 days continuous in 1 month, one continuous, 25 days. The entire film was shot in 22 days. And myself, Ravi Verma, our K.V. Krishna, who actually he started in Niti Nijaiti, my first picture, the student in Sulurpet, he was my assistant director, and he continued for Dikkantra Parvati, my Santanam production manager. So we all went to a location near, the idea was, there was a trick. At that time, the Karnataka government had a rule. They offered a subsidy of 50,000 rupees to any language film shot in Karnataka. Any language, it doesn't be Telugu or Tamil, or it need not necessarily be Kannada. Any language film shot in Karnataka, they were eligible for 50,000 rupees. So what I thought was, I cannot shoot in a Karnataka village because the Karnataka atmosphere is different from the Tamil atmosphere. So I wanted to select a village on the border of Karnataka and Tamil Nadu, probably a few kilometers from Hosur. Hosur is on the border. So if I take one village in that border, stay in Hosur and go to that village and come back, almost being a border of Hosur and Tamil Nadu, it will almost have a Tamil atmosphere. At the same time, I can get the 50,000 rupees subsidy also. So with that trick, so 50,000 rupees is not a small amount, it is 25% of the total budget of the film. So with that, I wanted to do this plan, so that I get the subsidy and also make a Tamil atmosphere. So we all, along with Ravi Verma, we went to Hosur, and there they said, when we were asking some good villages around on the border, they said, sir, you see all these villages, but since you say it is a story from Rajaji, we suggest just 7 miles from Hosur, there is a village called Torapalli. That is the village in which Rajaji was born. We did not know that, Rajaji's birthplace is here. So 7 miles from Thorapalli, half an hour journey. So we wanted to see. But that was in Tamil Nadu, but anyway we wanted to see. But when I saw the village, it was exactly like what he had written in his story. The same tamarind tree, the same river, the same rivulet, the same type of villages, same atmosphere. Everything was there. And there was the small house in which Rajaji was built also, was born also. It was a tiled house. It was dilapidated at that time. The government had made it a heritage building, something like that. But it was very good. Now what to do? If I shoot there, the authenticity will be there, everything will be there, but I will lose 50,000. If I go to Karnataka border, I will get 50,000 rupees, but I will lose the authenticity. I did not know. The only person who will share all my problems, whatever it is my wife, Kalyani.
வீட்டு வந்தப்பறம் சொன்னார், நான் அங்கே போகல ப்ரொஃபெக்ட் பார்க்கறதுக்கு, அவரே பார்த்துட்டு வந்து இது விஷயம் கல்யாணி ஆகட்டும். ஆமாம் இது ஆர்ட் பிக்சர் இல்லையா? ஆமாம் கமர்ஷியல் பிக்சர் இல்லை. அப்போ ஆர்ட் பிக்சர் பக்கா சப்சிடி கிடைக்கும்னு சொல்கிறீங்க. அந்த ஃப்ளாக்ஸ் வச்சுங்க. பட் ஆர்ட் பிக்சர் என்ன இப்போது பணத்துக்கார பார்த்தா நீங்கள் எப்படி ஓசூர் கர்நாடகாவில் பண்ணுறீங்க? அது வேறேனுமோ ராஜா அது அவரே ஃபேமஸ் கைடு வரைய கொடுத்தாரு, பர்மிஷன் கொடுத்தாரு. 50 rupees பார்க்காம நீங்கள் துறப்பெல்லாம் நல்லா இருக்கும். எனக்கு தெரியாது, புஷ்டியை பற்றியே தெரியாது. அந்த எப்படியோ நாட்டு வயல் எப்படி வந்ததோ தெரியல.
Within 5-10 minutes straight away she take the decision, and immediately I agreed. I got the strength. So we decided it was Thorapalli, and we were all staying in Hosur. And Veena Chittibabu came here, composed just a Muhurtam composing. One song was already written by Rajaji in the book. For that he took the lyrics, and there was another song which we created. There is no improvement, for which we called Mr. Kannadasan. Usually Mr. Kannadasan gets all the directors, producers, writers to his house. He never goes to any other place. But first sitting, I wanted Mr. Kannadasan to come to my office because it is Rajaji's story. He liked my expression. He was so nice, and he said, why not? He straight came. He came there to the office. He sat there. First sitting of music along with Chitti Babu, some tunes and all that he heard. Mr. Karaikudi Narayan was sitting next to him. He was in a chair. We were all squatting down. It's a great writer. And he went away. And then we gave him the tune, and we took some lyrics for composing. Later, Mr. Veena Chittibabu came to Thorapalli. That was later. So we were all in Hosur, small houses. There is a farmhouse where there is a guest house. So we put Lakshmi and YJ Mahendra, some people there. And there was a 5-bedroom independent house. There we took. And my 2 daughters, eldest daughter was about 7.5, 8 years, and my second daughter was 2.5 hours by the time. She was, and Samskara time, my wife was 8 months carrying. Now she was 2.5 years, and with both the children, she was there throughout. Because it is my own film, I applied for the FFC, and she was in charge of the total home with the 2 children. Where how the mess, where all the breakfast, how it is supplied, lunch, whether it is going to the locale properly, and as soon as they come, whether all the coffee, tiffin, everything is ready. All that she was checking completely. She was sort of a assistant production manager for the film. The main production manager was Santanam, who used to come to the locale.
Shooting போகலாம்னா பரவாயில்ல, ஏன்னா துணிமணி கூட்டு எடுத்துட்டு பசங்க கூட்டு போனே தர என்ன எடுத்துட்டு போகலாமா, என்ன யூஸ்ஃபுல்லாக ஒன்றுமே ஐடியா வரல. எனக்கு தெரியாது. காலையில் போய் ஷூட்டிங் முடிச்சுட்டு வராரு, மெஸ்ஸில் சாப்பாடு வரும். இதே 2-3 நாள் அப்படியே டிஸ்கஸ் பண்ணிட்டு நெக்ஸ்ட் ஷூட்டிங்கு சிட்டிபாபு வந்தார் இல்லையோ, சாங் சிச்சுவேஷனும் இதெல்லாம் இதை டிஸ்கஸிங். அப்போ உள்ளேனா வந்து எங்களுக்கு ஒன்றுமே கொடுக்க முடியலையே னு 1 or 2 days பார்த்து என்ன ஆயா கூப்பிட்டேன். தக்காளி கிடைக்குமா? கிடைக்குமா? எனக்கு தக்காளி வாங்கிட்டு வா, அப்புறம் உப்புன்னு மிளகு வாங்கிட்டு வா. அந்த காலத்தில் மிளகு ரெடியாக வாங்குறதுக்கு தெரியாது எனக்கு, விற்கிறாங்கன்ட்டு. மிளகு உப்பு வாங்கிட்டு வா வாங்கிட்டு சரிட்டு அதை வாங்கிட்டு வந்துட்டு கட் பண்ணிவிட்டு எல்லாம் போட்டுட்டேன், மிளகு பொடி சால்ட் பொடி. அது எப்படி டிஸ்ட்ரிபியூட் பண்ணுறது உங்களுக்கு, எப்படி தொடர்பு பண்ணுறது ஆயா போட்டு. நான் இன்னும் பிளேட்டு மெட்ராஸில் இன்னும் எடுத்துன்னு வந்தேன் ஆயா, நான் என்ன செய்யறது எப்படி கொடுக்கறது புரியலையேன்னு. அப்படியா அம்மா, ஆனால் பிளேட்டெல்லாம் கிடைக்காது, அந்த இலையில் ஒரு 200 தொன்னையோடு ஒரு பவுல் பண்ணுறாங்களே எல்லாருக்கும் கோயிலில் இல்லை பிரசாதத்தில் கொடுப்பாங்களே, அது போல் ஒரு இலை தொன்னை பவுல் போல் கிடைக்கும், அது வாங்கிட்டு வருவாங்க. வாங்கிட்டு வா, என்னை எப்படி கொடுக்குறது அவங்களுக்கு வாங்கிட்டு அதை வரவழைச்சிட்டு அப்படியே அதை தொப்பான்னு சொல்கிறோம் தெரியல, அது சம்திங் தமிழில் என்ன சொல்றது தெரியாது. ப்ரிப்பேர்ட் வித் சம் லீவ்ஸ் லைக் இட் லுக்ஸ் லைக் பவுல், பிளாஸ்டிக் பவுல் எல்லாம் மாதிரி அதில் வச்சுட்டு கொடுத்துட்டா இந்த ஹாப்பினஸ் எவ்வளோ ஹாப்பி தெரியுமா. இந்த ரொம்ப வெரைட்டியாக இருக்குது, அது இந்த ஐடியா நல்லா இருக்குது, இந்த இது நல்லா இருக்குது எனக்கு கிரேட் அவார்டு வின்னர் டிரைவர்னே சொன்னார்.
So every day we used to have, I think we have applied for some car or something like that, and we used to go there and shoot as usual, and there were some night shots also which we used to do. And as exactly Ravi Verma, exactly it was like Tom Cowan. I have experience with Tom Cowan. We also went before, 2-3 days before, fixed all the shots, all the locales, all angles, all lighting conditions also, and finalized everything. And for the authenticity, I wanted the court scenes, the real court scenes. Rajaji was a lawyer, and he wrote the court scenes so authentically and so realistically. I did not want to miss the realism. So I wanted to shoot at the actual court in Hosur. That is not permitted. So we got special permission from High Court, and we got the permission, and we shot court scenes in Hosur, and the lawyers of Hosur, they participated. They never were the actors, but they all came, and they are so natural because how they go about, how they put on their gowns and all that, they look so realistic. They are not actors, but they are non-actors, but it was realistic. The court scenes were one there. And Mr. Sanjeev Reddy, who paneled that 50,000 rupees, they were presenting that. He came and he was in one of the rooms of the building. Throughout, he was a big support, not only financially, but my wife, as soon as we came home to the lodge, after we finished our shooting and we had a bath, we had evenings about 1 hour stitching of the script, next day's work. What shot we are taking, how we are going to take, where we are going, or some dialogue rehearsals. Lakshmi used to come, Vahija, we all used to do. So my wife wanted it, there are no vessels and all that there. We had that mud bowls, something like that, some cups like that. With that plantain leaf she put, and she cut number of tomatoes with pepper and salt, she gave to everybody. This, especially Mr. Ravi Verma liked the way the tomatoes were served raw. And because she did once, Mr. Sanjeev Reddy, producer, every day went to Bangalore. It is about 1 hour, 1.5 hours drive from that. He used to go in the car, come with lot of tomatoes, cucumber and lot of vegetables, and that was the breakfast for everybody. If there was something done, we have some bhajis or something like that. And as per the schedule, it was over. On the last day, it was actually raining, and it was we saw the dark clouds coming there, and it was very dark. And I asked Ravi Verma whether the light is okay. I thought, he says we are lucky because the perfect dark light we get. So I used to see such films only in European, Hungarian films, where there is a lot of dark snow and all that, absolutely no night, but still they are shooting. But there is so much of realism in it. So he liked that, and dark clouds for him, everything was dark. So all the way she going up the steps of the hill to commit suicide, that was the end. So by the end, we came almost at the end, there was a drizzle. And we had to stop for the drizzle because we could not shoot. We just went to some other cover. And it was a slope, rocky thing. And Mr. Santanam, who was controlling the crowd. There were some crowds who were watching the shooting. He wanted them to go back, and he was on an edge of a slope. Suddenly he slipped and he fell down very deep, and there was a patch of grass. That grass fortunately stopped him. Everybody shouted, Santanam and all that, especially Krishna. She was in tears. But if that grass was not there, another big slope was there. We could see the small houses like a toys. That was the depth. He would have straightway gone and fell there. It would have been a big tragedy. But I don't know, God sent. There was that patch of grass there, and he was stuck there. And slowly about 7 or 8 people went there. Everybody was sleeping, in crawling, and they were holding the hand and slowly got Santanam out, and with a big relief. By the time the drizzle stopped, again there was no rain, and we finished the rest of the shots. The last shot, she has to go down a cliff and has to jump. Naturally, she won't be jumping. So we have a closer shot in which we have a close-up of half-figure shot jumping, and another shots of the legs. She is jumping. 2 shots we have taken to cut. And from down from the hill, which we went within half an hour, dark road, we went there after finishing everything. It was because we wanted to have the same continuity of lighting. We had made a dummy of that character Parvati, Lakshmi. And we had a sari and all that, and a wig and all that. And somebody had to take the dummy up the hill, and it is a long shot, and we focused it. And it had to be dropped. The dummy has to fall. That was the usual thing they used to do. There was no CG. There won't be any movement of hands and legs. The realistic movement will not be there. But still it's a dummy. So the loose hands will be there. It's all cloth. So what happened? The camera was on. We can't hear. So we waved the handkerchief. And somebody from behind, he pushed. As the dummy fell, the wig came out and the dummy fell out. The wig went somewhere. The dummy came. The two separately it was coming. And it fell down. So anyway, it's a take 2. So I was ready for take 2. And Mr. Ravi Verma, he said, okay, and he was going away. I said, what, Ravi? This is not okay. The wig has come out. Yes, I know. Even Lakshmi has fallen, same thing would have happened, because Lakshmi had a wig. That was a joke. Even if Lakshmi had really fallen, the wig would have gone and Lakshmi would have fallen down. It just was a joke. Again the dummy was taken and dummy was thrown, and the shot was okay. The dummy had a story. They have to take a dummy they have to make the dummy in Madras, and they have to take to Hosur in the car. So what they did is, they put the dummy under the seat, and production people were sitting there, and they were going in the car. Whenever there is a petrol bunk, they used to have petrol. And somebody in the petrol, he saw something, a body was there. So he used to whisper, sir, some murder is going on, somebody is taking a body. He used to whisper here and there, and a lot of people gathered there. And when they gathered, sir, you please come out, we want to see what it is. What, sir? Yes, what is it? Then they opened the dummy. This is for a film shooting, sir. Then everybody laughed and went away. Like that, once or twice it happened, whenever it stopped at a level crossing or something like that. So they decided to put the dummy on the car, because this nuisance will be not there, everybody will see things. They tied the dummy and they are driving the car. And as the car was going, everybody is thinking, see how they are taking, how ruthlessly, they are not at all conscious, how they are saying a dead body like that. That is what they are commenting. Finally, the body came to Hosur and we finished the shot. That was the story of the dummy. And there was the regular shooting, nothing else. And we came back. Mr. Vasu was the editor, and we edited. And the length was exactly equal. And Mr. Veenu Chetty Babu and Mr. Janardhan played the music for sitar. He played himself some tunes. And Vani Jairam sang the 2 songs, which we had picturized that. Vani Jairam had just finished her famous song, Bolo Re Papi. And after that she came. And I met her. I have heard your Bolero Pepe, please sing. It was delightful and she sang beautifully well. Those songs are there. And finally, the picture was ready for release. It was censored.